What is up, guys? It is Jasmine. I am back with another video. How are you guys today? I'm in a conspiracy theory kind of mood, so that's what you guys are getting. I didn't want to just go through all of the Mandela effects. Surprise, that's what we're talking about. Didn't want to just go through all the Mandela effects that everybody else has talked about. If you don't know what the Mandela effect is, it is... I forgot her name. Okay, Google. Who invented the Mandela effect? Let's see what Google says.
I found these results.
Oh, you're not going to talk to me, lady? Alrighty. So, in 2009, Fiona Broome is the one who invented the Mandela effect. Now, she didn't necessarily invent it, but what happened was she, along with a bunch of people, a lot of people, remembered Nelson Mandela dying years earlier in prison. But in turn, Nelson Mandela...
According to Wikipedia, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary, political leader, and philanthropist who served as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999.
Thank you, Google. And so that's kind of where it started. Is everybody's like, no, he died years ago. How did he just die today? So it started branching off from there, and people started noticing differences. One of the big ones is Berenstain Bear versus Berenstain Bears. The one that really got me was in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I could have sworn she said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all?" Or who's the fairest of them all. But instead, she says magic mirror on the wall instead of mirror, mirror. And I always thought of it as mirror, mirror. So I don't know about all that. I know what I remember, and there's multiple ones. If you're wanting to just see what the Mandela effects are, go ahead and just Google it and you'll find it. But I wanted to more or less do a little bit of a different video, and I wanted to talk to you about the reasons that we're experiencing these Mandela effects. So there's a couple different reasons that I've researched and found that could be the cause of the Mandela effect. Number one, and this is everybody's main theory, is that CERN, which is the European Organization for Nuclear Research that was started on September 29th, 1954, is behind it. What they think they did is they opened a microscopic black hole. They're the ones who are responsible for finding the God particle. Now, before I get religious debate, I'm not saying they found God. I'm not trying to debate about the existence of God, what God is. I don't know if he's a man in the sky with a beard. I don't know if he's energy. I don't know what God is, and neither do you. You know what you were taught, okay? So, don't come after me. They found the God particle. The reason that they say that it is the God particle is because it's kind of like an antiparticle. It is the beginning of matter. They think they found the original matter, if that makes sense. This is all a little over my head. I'm not a string theorist. I'm not a physicist. So a lot of this doesn't necessarily make sense to me. But what people think happened is that they opened a microscopic black hole. And with that black hole, once they opened it, they don't know how to close it. And black holes are what take you to different dimensions, right? And so what they think is happening is we are slipping in between different dimensions. And these different dimensions, there's different realities, which is why some of us have these false memories. Because, as I said, some people remember it as mirror, mirror on the wall. Other people remember it as magic mirror on the wall. Some people remember seeing the Berenstain Bears. Other people remember seeing the Berenstain Bears. There's small differences. But even, I know there's one from Panic at the Disco, and one of the lyrics is different, and so one person tweeted the main singer of Panic at the Disco. I don't know names. I'm not the biggest fan of Panic. Anyways, they tweeted him, and he was like, I don't even know. I thought it was this way. It must be some Berenstain thing. So even artists are coming out saying, I don't remember saying that. As I said, there's so many more. But what they're thinking is happening is there's so many different dimensions, and there's so many different realities, and we're living in one, but because we open that black hole, we're slipping in between, and so there's small little differences. I know it's kind of a lot to grasp. I understand that because I still don't fully understand the whole thing. I just know that I remember things a certain way and other people around me do, yet there's no proof of that ever happening. So they're thinking that CERN is the reason behind that, and that they're pretty much screwing with our reality. One thing that sticks out to me is years ago, me and my husband had went grocery shopping at Walmart. And my husband is one of the most unconspiracy theorist guys I know. He doesn't believe in a lot of stuff. He's a huge skeptic. He's skeptical of most everything. And he told me, he was like, I feel like everything in the store is different. And I remember thinking, why did they change all of the logos on stuff? Everything just looked different when we were in Walmart. And I thought maybe, I want to say it was like towards the beginning of the year, which I'll get into, because I want to say it was the beginning of the year of 2013, which is weird. But I want to say that's when it happened. And I thought maybe for the new year, you know, like all the brands were switching their logos or something. Because I remember he specifically brought it up, because I thought that. I was like, why does everything look weird in here? But then he brought it up and was like, why does everything look strange? And I was like, oh, what? Okay, I'm not crazy. And I asked him, you know, do you think that's why? And he was like, I didn't hear anything of it. Now, this gets into our second thought. What if, when the Mayans predicted that the world was going to end in 2012, the world really did end in 2012, and the only way to keep us all alive is that we switched over to a different dimension where things are a little bit different, but we're still living. And there's not really much I can look into that. It's just kind of like, it is that, you know, and I know this is kind of like out there. I get that. And I don't know about you guys, but I ponder about stuff like that a lot. I ponder about death. I ponder about different dimensions, different universes. You know, I do. I think about that a lot. So for me, this is interesting. I'm hoping I'm not boring you. But, what if we all died in 2012 and now we're living in 2013, but we've carried over memories from when we all died because they technically saved us by moving our dimension over, moving us to a different reality. So there's one theory of what happened. Another theory is that someone built a time machine and they're going back in time and changing things to get monetary gain. And then I looked into this a while ago. My voice is going out, I'm sorry. I looked into this a while ago, and it doesn't necessarily, from what I was reading and the scientists were saying, is you can't build a time machine today and travel back to the 1700s. You can only travel back as far as that time machine was built. So if we haven't built a time machine yet, and time travel isn't a thing, then we yet haven't went back. Unless that time machine was already built in, say, 2012, right? This is just pure example. Say it was built in 2012 right before the world ended, right? So now, we just didn't know that it existed. But whoever's using it knows that it was built in some weird guy's basement, right? So he can travel back to at least 2012. And he's trying to fix everything that's happening to be able to save us. But he has to keep going back and changing stuff, which brings us to the butterfly effect. Now, if you don't know what the butterfly effect, it's more or less a chain of events that happens because one thing changed. And I read a little excerpt of I don't know what the book was. It could have actually been like a butterfly effect. I don't know. I don't know the name of the title. Pretty much this guy built a time machine. He goes back to the dinosaur age. He is standing there observing the dinosaurs and he kills a butterfly. Now, because he killed that butterfly, this dinosaur over here wasn't able to eat the butterfly, and then this dinosaur died. And because that dinosaur died, this dinosaur didn't get to eat that dinosaur. And pretty much just by killing that one butterfly, a whole chain of events happened and we never existed. So that's another theory. Another one that's becoming popular is that we live in a simulated reality. And scientists have actually come forth and mentioned that we could indeed be living in a simulated reality. There's a 50-50 chance, which to me is kind of crazy. What that technically means is we are someone's video game. We're Sims. It's the best way that I can explain it. And so, you know, like if we ever wonder, like, you know, why do all these terrible things happen to us? Why are there wildfires right now in Calabasas or something, right? Like maybe we are in a simulated reality and we don't mean anything to them. Because I remember when I was playing Sims, I made a bunch of characters and then I killed them because I wanted my house to be haunted. This was like in one of the earlier Sims, right? Like I put them all in the pool and then I drowned them to death because I took out everything for them to get out, waited for them to die, and then at night I had ghosts going around there because I wanted a haunted house. So what if that happened? You know, what if that's the reason that we die? What if that's the reason that all these terrible things happen and all these terrible good things happen to us, is because we're actually not even living. We're just in a simulated reality. And I find it hard to believe. That's not one I really believe, but I just wanted to say that's kind of the reason of the Mandela effect. So the reason that we remember things differently is because, you know, they went back to their starting point in the game, right? Like if you die, you just go back to your previous starting point, your save point. And so that's why we're remembering things. But again, I don't know. This is just the different theories of why. And then the next question is this why we have deja vu? I have deja vu. My husband has deja vu. And a couple of my friends have talked about having deja vu. Now, is the reason that we're having deja vu because we are already doing this? We've already done this, but because of the Mandela effect, it is a little bit different, but we still carried over that memory? Is that why? Like, why do we have deja vu? Another person brought up, which this isn't related to the Mandela effect, but because I wanted to talk about a couple conspiracy theories. What if we're having deja vu because we died and our life is flashing before our eyes? Like, what if we're already dead? And the reason we're having it is because we're just going through the memories, which I don't like that theory. That theory gives me anxiety. So I figured I'd go ahead and give you anxiety so we can freak out together. And then the last one that's kind of proving the Mandela effect, and I know I've done this a couple times. Have you ever felt like you experienced something, but you can't quite remember like what it is? Like, do you remember falling off of a cliff and you almost have a small little fraction of a memory, but you're telling yourself that didn't happen, obviously. A lot of people think that it kind of intertwines with the whole Mandela effect. It's like maybe in a previous reality you fell off of a cliff, but now, you know, there's a hair in my mouth. But in this reality, you never fell off a cliff, but you have that slight memory, because a lot of people are coming forward talking about how they have split seconds of a memory, but it never happened to them, but they feel like it happened to them. And then also, maybe that's why so many people have this whole generalized anxiety disorder. I feel like more and more and more people are coming forth saying that they're suffering from anxiety. Is it because we can all feel that something's not right? We all have anxiety because we know something is wrong, but we don't know what it is. Is that why? Is it because we know we're in a different dimension? We know things aren't adding up? People even say that President Trump was elected because of the Mandela effect. People think that CERN went back in time and made it so that President Trump was elected because he was not supposed to be elected, I guess. I don't know. I'm not trying to get into politics here. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people even say that the Mandela effect happened that way. Also, like, some people remember Hillary being voted for. I was watching the elections. I remember it being Donald Trump. I stayed up until 1 o'clock in the morning watching them. So I have the specific memory of Donald Trump of winning the election. But a lot of people have a memory of Hillary winning. So it's just interesting to see. That's going to be pretty much it. I'm going to do my best to kind of edit this. I know it's a little all over the place and I apologize, but I don't know. Like I said, I was in a conspiracy theory mood and I kind of wanted to give you guys a little of the behind the scenes facts of the Mandela effect versus just talking to you about every other Mandela effect that everybody else has talked to you about. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!